Hello everyone, I'm Reiki Master Sharon, and today I just wanted to do a reading for you guys for Saturn coming out of retrograde. And these are the cards that kind of came out as I was preparing the decks. So it seems as though we're going to be doing a twin flame reading today. This is a collective reading, so not everything may resonate with you guys, so please take what does and leave the rest. Starting out here with the King of Pentacles. So I'm really getting a sense of stability from this card. From the masculine side, I'm kind of seeing something that has to do with like living stability, like their everyday life. I see them seeing this connection between you guys, and they feel the energy. I'm really pulled to the red in this card and like the passion, and they're really feeling it in their 3D reality. There's a lot of intellectual energy here too. You guys are stimulating each other. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, on so many different levels. Lover's card is also the energy of Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is communication. So for the feminines, I'm feeling that this has something to do more with a financial aspect. The more of the material wealth, like what you're doing in your everyday life as far as your finances go. There may be a dynamic in your work situation that you really don't have a lot of pull over, but it still affects you. Really what I'm getting from these cards is that Spirit wants me to remind you guys that energy is how you make your money. Your energy is your currency, right? So no matter what happens in this situation or in these dynamics, no one can take your energy from you unless you allow them to, right? You get paid for what you do at work because you agreed to go there. It's, if something doesn't work out in this aspect, something better is going to come that's more aligned with you. But that's kind of what I'm getting from this death card in reversed is, I'm really pulled to this guy just kind of like laying on the ground dead. Death card is also really related to a sense of death and rebirth. And I feel like this person laying on the ground is kind of, in a sense, coming back to life, but he hasn't really gained his momentum or his strength back yet, right? So he's just kind of laying there trying to regroup from everything that has already happened in his life. And I'm seeing with the Temperance card in reverse that this is something that's very spiritually guided. You have angels that are on your side. They're sitting here trying to balance these cups. And I really am seeing these cups as being, Two of Cups, soulmate energy that this angel is trying to balance between the both of you. And I'm also seeing the red wings, which is pulling me back to the passion that I'm feeling from this Lover's card. And I know that you're both feeling this connection because we also had this message card come out that says, I can sense the spiritual connection. They're seeing the signs just as much as you are. They're feeling your presence just as much as you are feeling theirs. And it's something that, for one, not everybody experiences. And for two, something that they've never, and you haven't experienced on this level before either. And that can be kind of, you can take you back a little bit, right? You can go, wow. This is because when you realize that you have something of value, you realize that it's something that can potentially be lost, and that's where fear comes in. And I think that's also what Spirit is trying to say is no one can take away your energy. No one can take away your worth. Your worth is inherently there. No matter where you decide to put it, I mean, where you decide to invest and where you put that energy is going to, really have a big effect on the kind of outcomes that you're going to get from the situation. But as long as you know that you have control over it and that, no one can take it away from you, then you don't really have to be as scared about losing it anymore, because it doesn't get lost, it gets transformed into something else. So, with that being said, we're going to go into our reading, and I'm going to start with the crown chakra of the... I'm going to start with the crown chakra of the divine masculines. So we're going to start with the Romance Angels deck here. What does Spirit need us to know about the divine masculines? What's going on in the crown chakra that they need to know about, and we might need to know about? Okay. So we have, pay attention to the red flags, signs are cautioning you. And flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. So what I'm gathering from this is that the masculines are really being urged to pay attention to the things that have been happening around them in the past, I'm going to say at least few months. Different aspects in which they may have been taken advantage of, different boundaries that they've needed to make more solid, and really pay attention to really protecting their own energy and seeing their own worth. Because I feel like, they have been a little bit in their head about things, a little scared to mess things up because this is such an intense connection. But I do think that Spirit is urging you to, it's saying that, there's a dynamic in your life where you can be lighthearted and you can open yourself up and flirt and not really have to pull yourself back as much as you may have. I think Spirit is really saying, you've seen the red flags with the people that are taking advantage of you, and I think it's basically saying who not to trust and who you can trust at this point. So let's go on to the crown chakra of the feminines. And I decided to do it this way because I really don't like pulling from the top of the deck. I'd rather the cards kind of fall as they need to. And if that means that we get more than one, then so be it. And if I feel like I need more clarification, we will do that too. So, what do we have for the crown chakra of the feminines here? Okay, this deck is quiet. We're going to go on to another one. I feel like the feminines are really dealing more with a financial work situation in which they're trying to balance. And I feel like with the masculines, it's kind of more stepping into their own power in their own life and figuring out what it is that works for them. Because I do feel strongly that, there was a Tower moment with that Death card. And what I'm really feeling from it from both sides is that, when the tower comes down, you really have to evaluate what was wrong structurally with the tower, right? So that you can rebuild it better the next time around so you don't have the same thing happen. So we have 7 of Discs, which is like the 7 of Pentacles, and 5 of Swords. And this is the Patch Tarot deck. And this says investment conflict. Okay? So I do feel like this is kind of that conflict in your workplace, and you're really starting to get in your head about your energetic investment in this place. So I do see that, there may be some things that you may need to speak your truth about in this situation. There may be things that you need from this situation that you're not getting. And there may be a boundary that your employer might be crossing with you that needs to be addressed. But I do feel like if you find the courage to do that, it's going to work out in the end. So let's go on to the masculine's third eye chakra. What's going on in their divine guidance, in their dreams, their intuition? What is it telling them? 10 of Swords, difficult endings, karmic completions. So yes, I do feel like they know intuitively that this situation that has been giving them these red flags is dead. It's not getting any more of their energy. And I think that's pretty straightforward. So we're going to go on to the third eye of the feminines. So what's going on in the intuition of the feminines? What is it telling them at this time? What are the feminines feeling at this time? Peace. And 2 of Swords. So I do feel like what this is saying is when you do speak your truth, you're going to find peace in this situation, whether, they turn you down or actually give you the compensation that you need. It's going to allow you to move forward in this situation, because I do feel like you've been feeling like you're kind of sitting here blindfolded, not really knowing which way to go, kind of in your head about things with these swords. But your third eye is open and your intuition is correct. So I'm feeling that this is really urging you to make that step to make those intentions clear of what you need from the situation, because it's just going to cause resentment otherwise. You don't want to live in a sense of resentment. So what's going on with the throat chakra of the masculines at this time? What's going on with that Mars energy? What's going on with the throat chakra? Okay, I'm being pulled to another deck here. Let's see. Yep, here we go. 3 of Pentacles in reverse. So 3 of Pentacles is really about, foundations and starting things. And I think this is really just speaking to the fact that this masculine is really having to deconstruct some very long-standing things that have been manifested into his physical reality that he realizes don't serve him anymore. This is really just him stepping into his power of knowing that, speaking his truth and letting people know He's not going to be taken advantage of, that, these manipulation tactics aren't going to work for him anymore. It's not going to work on him anymore, that he's just not having it anymore. He's done with it. It's dead. He sees it. He's aware of it. Whew. Okay. Good for you, masculines. Good for you for standing your ground and protecting yourself. That's a good way to step into your healed masculine energy, is to realize that you deserve to be protected as well. Your energy deserves to be protected as well. Okay? Whew. So let's move on to the throat chakra of the feminines. What do we have going on here with the feminines? Okay. 9 of Wands. Defensive, endurance, self-reliance. So what I'm getting from this card is basically that the feminines are starting to realize that they can handle anything that is being thrown to them with spirit. With spirit on their side, it doesn't matter what anybody else throws at them. And that's giving them a lot of power to speak their truth and to speak what they actually need and what they feel that they deserve. And in doing so, it's bringing a lot into their life. Now, it may come off as being defensive, but they are also protecting themselves too. They're also standing in this healed masculine energy of protecting their own energy. They're not allowing these lower vibrational things to penetrate their aura. They're learning how to endure these things that are being thrown at them, which is a great thing. And I'm so proud of you guys for that, because I know it's taken a lot to get to that point. So now we are going to go into the heart space of the masculines. Let's see what we have here for what's going on in the heart space of the masculines. Ooh. That was almost a lot of cards that came out, but they didn't quite fall, so we'll come back around, see if any of them are willing to come out again. But I do feel like, that speaks to what's going on in the heart chakras of the masculine. There's a lot of emotions and things that are wanting to come out. They have some, what is this here? Whew. Surrender, the Hanged Man. Yes, this is a very spiritual card. This is a lot of emotions. This is, as I was saying, there's a lot of emotions that are pent up in the heart space of the masculine, which over time he has learned to kind of harden his heart. And I'm hearing that song, I think it's by Pat Benatar, I'm not sure, but it's like, I'm gonna harden my heart, I'm gonna swallow my tears. Yeah, so that might have a message for you somewhere in the lyrics, but what I'm really feeling is this masculine has been hurt, and he's learned to harden his heart, and he just has so much that is trying to come out. And what Spirit is really saying is that it's okay to surrender, through the storm, and there's this rainbow here, right? You don't have to be afraid of this snake. The snake is going to heal you. So what I'm really... Okay, I have a story for you guys about this serpent here, okay? In the book of Numbers, I was kind of... I was researching it the other day, and there was a story in the Bible where, Moses takes his people out of Egypt, they're released from slavery, but they're plagued with a lot of drought and famine, and they don't really have a place to go. They're kind of wandering in the desert, and they're starting to get mad at Moses, mad at God, and kind of starting to be like, what's going on? I thought this was supposed to be better, right? Thought it was supposed to be better to be free. But in this kind of energy that they had, God ended up making a serpent that when it bit them, that they would, fall ill. But he also created, out of his mercy, another snake that when you looked at it or something, it healed from the other snake. So I feel like this is really speaking to kind of like a awakening that this masculine is having in their heart, this wrestle between these two snakes, this death and rebirth. Whew. And I mean, if you go down that rabbit hole, it's pretty spectacular what you may find as far as like the concept of Ouroboros, and how it connects to the Aurora Borealis, and the concept of there being like the northern lights and the southern lights, and like a good snake and a bad snake. But it is really there to balance things. So I do feel like there's a lot of balancing coming from the heart chakra of the masculines at this time, which is awesome. And I think if they surrender to that, they're going to see a lot of doors being opened to them that they may not have seen before. Whew, that was a lot. Okay, let's go into the heart. Sorry. Let's go into the heart chakras of the feminines. And with that, I just kind of want to say that, the feminines, you may be really picking up on a lot of counter-transference from your masculines in a physical kind of sense, in the throat chakra, for them maybe having some hesitancy to speak their truth if that's what's going on. So it might be beneficial to send them some energy and help them to encourage themselves to defend themselves as well. And I really got that from the Temperance card from the beginning of the reading too. I forgot to mention it, but Spirit didn't let me forget. Alright, so what's going on in the heart chakras of the feminines? Ooh, sloth. Okay, so this is 9 of Wands in the reverse position. Sagittarius energy. So I do feel like there's something that the feminines have been putting off. I think, it may be a little intimidating for them to open up about what they've been wanting to say in the situation. Let me have a clarification for this card. Yeah, I see like there's a lot of arrows here that they want to be, slinging, and they're not. And maybe that's speaking to the compassion that the feminines have in their heart space too. There's a lot of things that they could do or they could say that could really hurt a lot of people, but in doing these things you have to have compassion. It has to be done in a way that isn't malicious, isn't going to hurt other people intentionally, but there are still things that need to be said. There's still things that need to be addressed to honor yourself and your own boundaries. Okay, you can't just be quiet for the sake of, someone else's feelings all the time. Like, in that sense, you're just kind of stabbing yourself in the back. So you have Two of Pentacles, juggling, change, adapt. You have Nine of Swords, anxiety, fear, nightmares. This is reversed. Empress, divine feminine, abundance of and love, fertility and growth. So I think for a while you've been kind of juggling some things around in your heart space, trying to figure things out, trying to do all of these things, but you're really starting to let go of this fear and anxiety and realize, like, I'm safe where I am. And I think that's why it's, speaking to this sloth, it's not that you're just sick of running. You're sick of jumping through hoops. You're sick of chasing. You're not in that energy anymore. You're just like, I'm done with it. And I think that comes a lot with that Death card in reverse too. As far as the Empress being in reverse, I feel like you're feeling kind of like a loss, like not really a loss, but a lack. You feel a lack. But I feel like Spirit wants you to kind of transcend above those 3D feelings of lack so that you may step into this abundance and love and growth and step into your feminine energy, because that's what was causing a lot of the fear and anxiety, was this feeling that you didn't have love or abundance. You have an abundance of love within yourself that you give to people every single day. Okay? Don't forget that, because you have this Empress within you, and don't ignore it. Okay? And that goes for the masculines too. I know that we're, reading separately, but you guys both do have a balance of both of these aspects within you. So, everything that's being said on this side can be taken on the other side too. Everything that you love and admire about your counterpart is within yourself as well. You guys share the same soul frequency. So let's move on to the solar plexus, our seat of confidence, self-confidence. What do we got here? Narcissism, the sun in the reverse position. I feel like, before I say anything, let's try to clarify that. Usually, the sun is a card of happiness. The being in the reverse position, I feel like the masculines are really sick of not allowing themselves to feed into their own happiness. And we have the Three of Discs again. And I think that is really pushing them to want to work towards this new beginning that's going to that's going to flip the sun in the upright position and move away from the narcissism. If you don't know what narcissism means, I really do encourage you to Google that and figure out what that means, because I know it's a word that gets thrown around a lot. And it's a big component that plays in abusive relationships. So, in order to understand that and grow from it, you really need to understand what it is. So, I'm not going to explain it here because I don't want to give you guys the wrong impression, but please research it on your own if you feel guided to do that, okay? I would really encourage you to do that. So, what do we have going on in the solar plexus of the feminines? I think it's really beautiful that the masculines are really looking to build a new foundation in something that's going to make them happy. And actually, because to me that shows me that even on an energetic level, they're starting to see that they deserve happiness in a relationship. I mean, these are just basic needs that people deserve. People like, and yeah, you're gonna be in those abusive, controlling relationships sometimes to teach you, maybe even your own boundaries. Right? You have to learn what you don't like in a relationship, how you don't like to be treated, so you know not to treat somebody else that way. So for the feminines, we have 8 of Pentacles, diligent work, improvement, steady progress. So yeah, I do feel like, the feminines are putting in the work too. They're starting to realize where they want to put their energy and their investments in, and where they want to withdraw it from as well. So I think that's really great that we have that in the seed of confidence, because when you're doing your work from a confident place, people start to notice it. Okay? There's a lot of fire energy in the solar plexus chakra. I see it to be ruled by Jupiter. Most people see it to be ruled by the sun. But, that is, and that could speak to the sun being in reversed in the solar plexus could be speaking to a blockage that maybe the masculines are feeling in their own confidence. But I do feel like, Spirit is calling them to do the work into forming a new foundation where they can be happy. And I think if they listen to that with their free will, that they will see a lot of progress, a lot of positive progress. So, what do we have for the sacral chakra of the feminines? 6 of Wands. So I feel like this is really speaking to, as soon as I seen this card, all I heard was victory. So victory in your creative nature. Whatever you're doing right now in a creative aspect that you're bringing to life, whether it's cooking, writing poetry, art, whatever it is that you're bringing and creating into this world is really bringing you a sense of victory. So that's awesome. What do we have for the sacral chakra of the masculines at this time? Ooh. So we have the World and the Devil in reverse. Ooh. Those are some pretty interesting cards there, masculines. So I do feel like Spirit is saying once you get rid of this block in your solar plexus and you start to do the work, what you're doing is you're releasing yourself from that fear energy. You're releasing yourself from that devil energy. And it's bringing you the world. It's bringing you balance. It's bringing you joy. It's bringing you happiness. It's bringing you all the things that you've known deep down that you deserve and that you desire. All right, so let's go into the root chakra of the feminines. Somehow I feel like I've lost one crown. No? Okay. So let's go into the root chakra of the feminines here. I just got myself all confused there for a minute. Well, thank you guys for your patience with me, because, you know, sometimes I misspeak and I say things, and I know it's, you know, I would really love to correct myself in everything that I misspeak about, but I do appreciate you guys staying with me. Sometimes my brain works faster than my mouth does, and I apologize for that, but I do hope that you guys are benefiting from a message that you're receiving in these readings, because that's why I do this for you guys. Alright, so go to another deck. That one was pretty quiet. What do we got for the root chakra of the feminines? That one was quiet too. Maybe we have a message here. Alright. We have release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So what I'm really getting from that card is that, you know, there may have been things that happened in your past that caused a lot of heartache and pain, and I think what Spirit is really saying is that not everyone is going to be that way. Sometimes people do heal, sometimes people do change, and even your masculine may come back to you in a healed version of themselves that is, you know, not going to repeat the same things that hurt you in the past. And you have to learn to let go of that. You have to learn to give compassion and give empathy and forgiveness. So what do we have? And you could also benefit from doing some kind of cord cutting, just even if you just kind of do it mentally in your mind, and, you know, put yourself in a bubble and say, hey, you know, everything that is not my energy needs to, I'm releasing it back to God to be healed. And I'm calling my energy back to me from others that are pulling on it. All right, so for the masculine, we have engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So what I'm seeing here is that in the physical realm, the masculines may be considering entering a relationship with a higher level of commitment. They may be getting themselves to a point where they want to commit. They want to, you know, put their energy into something that is lasting and fulfilling and beautiful. And I think, you know, there's something in this connection that's really flipped a switch for them to want that, because I don't feel like they wanted that before in the past. I feel like they had been so hurt in the past that they just kind of, you know, put this they put this armor on to keep everybody else out and everybody at a distance in a superficial light. They just kind of, even if they were connected to other people, they never really let people see who they really are. But I think you have always been able to see who they really are. And they're starting to recognize that. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'd like to ask, the creator if there's any other messages that we need to know to bridge the energy of this connection. What else do my viewers need to know before we go, Spirit? What else do they need to know, God? Okay, so we have Aquarius, the water bearer, and meditation. So Aquarius is ruled by Saturn as well. They kind of they tend to be a little quirky in their energy, but I do feel like with Saturn coming out of retrograde, it will be beneficial for you to maybe do some meditation to quiet your mind, bring yourself back to the present moment if you're feeling a lot of anxiety through this. With Saturn going direct, I feel like it's going to kind of lift a heavy energy of, this kind of karmic thing that may be going on in this connection. These lessons that are being learned. So meditation can look like a lot of things. It can be, you could just listen to binaural beats or, healing frequencies. You can just kind of do some breath work, focusing on your breathing, bring yourself back to the present moment. Meditation may just be sitting down when you first wake up or before you go to bed and just journaling, thinking about what you want your life to look like. And then we have Gemini energy, twins. Like I said, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so I do feel like this is communication. I do feel like Spirit is really urging you guys to talk about what you need and what you don't from your lives. And really just kind of allow whatever's meant for you to flow in or out of it. Okay, so I'm gonna finish with a message card here. What we got? And I would really suggest, if you're resonating with the solar plexus chakra of the males being unbalanced, that you do look up a solar plexus healing frequency and maybe just kind of go about that. It says we need more time to understand each other. So I do feel like as time goes on, you're going to learn more about what each of you needs. And it may be difficult because with this kind of connection, you feel like you've known this person forever, for your whole life, since the beginning of time, and you may feel like you know what they need, but you don't know everything. I mean, there's a lot of things that have happened in their life and your life that you're still learning. And that's what makes life so interesting, is that we don't know what we don't know. So just keep that in mind, guys. I hope this reading helped you guys. Thank you for hanging with me this long. I really appreciate everyone who likes, everyone who subscribes, everyone who listens to me ramble for this long of time. If anything did resonate with you here, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, and I'd love to see you next time, okay? All right, have a good one, guys.